here we have the Tackle Club COD box for August. So let's jump in and have a look. Okay, I'm going to start off with the smaller ones first because there is a couple big ones in here. So first up, from Outlaw Spitter, we have this unique or cool looking little chatterbait, which I love fishing chatterbaits. Normally, one of the first things I'll actually tie on when I go out chasing cod in either my dams or rivers, because they're just so damn versatile. You can leave them on all day and fish anywhere with them. So something like this one here, I'd probably be a little bit inclined to chuck on a bit of a paddle tail plastic on the back just to beef it up a little bit. It can be fished straight out of the box just the way it is. So these things are super snag resistant because they got this big blade in front of them there, which causes mass vibration. So I like to cast these out, let them sink down next to my structure that I've located where I think it might be holding a fish, and give it one quick rip just to get that blade going and to rip it off the bottom. It'll kick off a little bit of mud or soot or dirt or sand that it pops off from, straight into a slow to medium roll, just for maybe 3, 4, 5 winds. Pause, let it sink back down again, rinse and repeat. Can fish these in the open water. So say you're looking in a dam, you might be chasing the original riverbed and fish it down that riverbed or along the drop off. Perfect for that. Or where I fish most of the time, in rivers and creeks, hurling these in the structure is not going to be an issue either. Now, if you are finding you're getting snagged up a fair bit with this, that's where you can jump over to something else here from Shad's Lures. This is the Shad Swimmer spinnerbait. I've got this one here in the hollow shad color. And already comes pre-rigged with the paddle tail plastic on it. Now obviously the profile and hook size for this is a bit smaller than the chatterbait, as well as the weight, but the slow fall of this spinnerbait might be just what you need if those fish aren't biting. But you're gonna fish this, I pretty much always use spinnerbaits for structure. So if there's some fallen timber or some laydowns, some vertical trees, rocks, that's where I'm going to be using these, because these are super snag resistant because of that V wireframe in the front. Just as it swims, bumps over all the submerged timber and stuff. And because of that, you can often let these sink deep into the structure, and 9 times out of 10, you'll probably get it back. I'm not saying you won't snag it up. Ooh, sharp hooks. I'm not saying you won't snag it up, because you still can snag anything up with a hook on it. But definitely a versatile way to fish, and this actually looks like a fantastic little spinnerbait, especially that size, for the skinnier creeks and rivers that I often fish for cod. Now it is closed season for cod where I'm at the moment, so make sure you do check your local regulations on where you can target these species. I think most places at this time will be locked into impoundments at the moment. So if you're fishing impoundments and you've got your spinnerbait on, I'm going to be looking for the edge bite, where there's some structure or some deep drop-offs. Same with your chatterbait. Now, over to the bigger ones. Now these will really shine in your bigger rivers, or in this case, if you're in a cod closed season, your big cod dams. We've got one here from Rapala. This is the X-Rap Otis. So it is essentially a hybrid between a hard body and a soft plastic. So it's got a hard body front, built like a torpedo, and then a soft body curl tail on the back. So this thing to me might even mimic something like little eeltail catfish, your little jewies. Perfect little bait for that, but obviously I'm not going to be fishing these too heavy into the structure because of the big trebles hanging off the bottom. I'm going to be using this maybe in along a drop-off, feed original riverbed in the dam, or some big flats that are only like 1 to 2 meters deep, where the cod might be coming up to feed on these smaller fish like the yellow belly, your redfin, your little jewies, your eeltail catfish, your carp, things like that. Perfect situation to throw this around. And it does come with 2 different tails in the box. So one's a slightly longer tail, one's a slightly shorter tail, so you can mix and match and change its sink rate. and then that's the Rapala X-Wrap Otis. And then over to the big one in the box, a big soft plastic Swimbait. This is a big, it's kind of like a trout profile, I guess you'd say, from Swimbaits Australia. So it does come pre-rigged, ready to go. It's got a fairly hefty weight to it, big paddle tail on the back, fairly durable plastic. Now the only thing I'm a little bit iffy about is how tiny the little treble is underneath the belly here. It does feel like a fairly strong treble, but I might think about upping that to a slightly bigger treble myself. But aside from that, it's ready to go straight out of the box. So treble underneath, single hook coming out of the top there near its dorsal fin, big paddle tail, and a good weight. So it is going to be a sinking swim bait. Perfect for finding those big cod that are sitting in those deeper waters. And you fish this nice and slow. So long cast out, I'm going to let this sink down to the bottom and just go into a super slow roll back. So this thing's just meandering, just, you know, plodding along close to the bottom, where these lazy big fat cod are going to be sitting tight to the bottom in the little holes and little crevices, ready to eat and munch on something like this big swim bait here. And that's it for the COD box for this month. So if you want to check it out or any of the others in the range, just head to www.tackleclub.com.au, pick a box that's right for you, and welcome to the club.